There's two movies that have been on my mind for a while. Some things failed to be a success because of timing or subject they chose. Just a few years ago, the Isle of Dogs movie came out. At first, I thought it was going to be your generic CG movie that has big actor names voicing funny, goofy characters like Ice Age, Shrek, Over the Hedge, those type of films. I like them. I really like Shrek, but after a while, talking animals got worn out. But then I watched the trailer. The first thing I see, it's not CGI. It's real stop motion animation. It brought back my memories of Nightmare Before Christmas. Then I found out it focuses on a very stylized version of Japan, kind of reflecting their paintings and artwork of the Edo era, mixed with Fallout, super advanced technology in 1950s aesthetics, all centered around talking dogs.
Where'd you get that?
What? I always had this.
Another thing that I also liked about it, it's not only a family film per se, it's not dumbed down so it keeps a PG-13 rating, but the movie is still comedic and slapstick. The movie's uniqueness is kind of its problem at the same time. I enjoy the film, but it relies a lot on exposition. There's also extended shots of nothing happening. It's all done to enhance putting you into the dog's shoes, feeling their abandonment. It easily can get people bored. Another thing they chose to do was not translate a lot of the Japanese dialogue. The scenes are all set up where you can totally understand the characters' actions and feelings, who are the bad guys, things like that. But there's times where they're just talking for a few minutes and you want to know what they're saying. The movie wants you to feel out of place, confused even. That's how the dogs would see the world. The dog understands trained words, but he can't understand human speech, so instead of doing they use Japanese as a substitute. These are probably some of the reasons why the movie didn't go far in theaters. The last thing that I was happy with was that it was something original. It wasn't a remake, a reboot, or a sequel to a movie that's 30 years old. Yes, I'm kind of gushing over it, but it still has some stupid plot problems that I didn't like. The story, it starts off in a flashback showing you the history of dogs and cats. While the movie is set in a mostly realistic setting of Japan, it plays out more like a cinematic interpretation. Think the Fallout cartoon cutscenes. Cats are on one side, dogs are on the other. Cats mainly are featured by the Kobayashi clan. Eventually the cats lost the war and dogs become the preferred pet for the next 400 odd years. That's how this movie starts. I should mention, while the dogs speak English,
You don't understand. How could you?
the humans don't actually understand them. The movie takes place in the near future in a made-up town, Megasaki, where the dog population began getting a illness. It caused various problems to the point of making dogs lash out on people. So the only option the mayor had was to exile all the dogs to their landfilled trash island. This is my biggest issue with the story. I'm gonna spoil what's going on because the movie doesn't even try to make this a mystery. The Kobayashi cat lovers are enacting their revenge on the dogs. I don't really mind when a story gives away their plan if it makes thematic sense. The character's journey through this story that really matters here. But this makes all the humans, except two, look really stupid. Okay, you don't want to kill off your dogs because they got a disease, but their owners are now afraid of them because they could eventually infect humans. So you exile them to this landfill, but no one cares to question why it's only dogs. Why aren't cats, mice, birds, guinea pigs, etc. getting infected? Even then, you put these dogs on this island, but birds can still land on it and bring back the virus, making this all pointless. It's a huge plot hole. If I was doing the story, I would have had various cats and other animals fake being sick so that Kobayashi fools everyone, including the audience, and doesn't make the humans look stupid. The bulk of the film follows a team of dogs, Chief, Rex, King, Duke, and Boss, that are surviving on Trash Island, as well as Atari Kobayashi, the main human character attempting to rescue his dog Spots. Overall, I like the cast, but I think they could have made the team smaller. It's cool to have Ed Norton and Bill Murray voicing dogs, But they went through the same problem dwarfs had in The Hobbit. Too many of them, not enough things for them to do. You easily forget their names for most of the movie, and the film focuses mainly on Chief and Spots. The others are mainly just filler or ignored. The interesting one is Chief. He's the unknown. While all the other dogs are from households, dog shows, mascots, and bodyguard services, he's a stray. He already lived in crap conditions before they got exiled on top of this. So he basically keeps his team alive. If you've seen the Power Rangers reboot movie, Cranston plays Chief like he did Zordon.
I'm not doing this because you commanded me to. I'm doing it because I feel sorry for you.
Stubborn, really harsh on people. He has a strong resentment towards humans because of what he lived through. Now, you think the dogs are going to be tearing at each other for whatever little food they find. Not here. This movie doesn't like going to the obvious conclusion.
Before we attack each other and tear ourselves to shreds like a pack of maniacs, let's just open the sack first and see what's actually in it.
But it's another issue I have. From what they show in the movie, when they get infected with dog fever, it's supposed to make you animalistic. At no point in the film do the dogs show this. It could be a plot mistake. Then again, Kobayashi could have been lying. I hate it. On one hand, the movie can be stupid, then on the other, they're 10 steps ahead of the audience. The film could be interpreted in a few different ways, but I think the main thing to take from it, it's about loving your pets. That's who Atari is. He's just a 12-year-old boy who stole a plane, flew it to Trash Island, all because his pet dog was taken from him. Atari had a really unlucky life. He lost his parents, and he became the ward of Kobayashi. So he joined into a wealthy family. This required him to be protected, so Spots comes in, a trained bodyguard dog. They go over the top. Atari is like a president or something. Atari and Spots get radio mics so they can talk to each other. I did say the dogs can't be understood in the film, but Atari seems to be special where he can understand dogs. I don't think it's like how we hear them. I think it's more instinct.
The wrong dog died!
Some scenes you can clearly see he understands, but other times he's like, what? I got one question. Why would Kobayashi get him a dog bodyguard? His clan loves cats, and what we see his company does with dogs, it makes no sense. They missed an easy way to get around this. Atari isn't his genuine son, he's his nephew. Atari could have made them get a dog bodyguard. This could have been the trigger for Kobayashi to start this whole mess. The second main human character in the film is a foreign exchange student, Tracy Walker. She became a controversial character in the film because Tracy was one of the first people who accused Kobayashi of being the one who infected the dogs. Critics saw her as the white savior trope. I didn't like that most of the other humans didn't catch the obvious problems I pointed out, but I don't know why people went to that extreme trope. Yes, Tracy is a foreign student. She is American. Americans are going to speak their minds, but the movie establishes her as methodical. She will not jump to conclusions without a strong basis. The reason why she first spoke out in her class, a group class that are young teens that look for the truth, so it's not just her, by the people saying she's a white savior, you're completely belittling and devaluing Atari. You can clearly see Atari's actions are the main reason why she opened her mouth. They're all kids, but that's immaterial. Atari can fly a plane, rebuild a plane. The kids in this universe are not stupid. He planned the rescue down to the letter. He brought tools, limited supplies, and cleaning products for his dog. If Atari, an elite family member connected to Kobayashi, is going against the most powerful man in Megasaki, something is wrong somewhere. That's also why Tracy and her class stood up to them. Atari did the first move, not Tracy. The ending is pretty crazy. It fits in with the way they set up the world. The only thing I can really nitpick is passage of time. They were able to build loads of things or get characters over to places way too quick. It had a satisfying ending to all the main characters. It doesn't do any sequel baiting. Villains get their dues. Atari and the dog's lives improves. A few twists here and there on characters. I easily recommend this film. I really enjoyed Atari's character. They were able to pull off a character that didn't speak much. It's all through his emotions. You could relate to him because Who doesn't care about their pets? On top of that, I was blown away at the detail of the stop motion animation. From the flapping fur to seeing fleas move around the dogs. Anything shown on a TV screen, it switched to animation. It gave the movie a cool style for itself. I'd love to see a new film from this studio. If you like films that focus on character, this is for you. If you prefer more action, you could still enjoy it, but it will be slow in many places. Thanks for checking out the review. Subscribe if you want to see more, and if you remember a movie or show that's long been forgotten, good or bad, leave it as a suggestion below. I'm always on the lookout for obscured stuff.